Remember this day, my friends, and tell your descendants about it. This date is destined to be inscribed in the annals of history in golden letters. Today, we are starting our amazing journey into the magic world of animation, in search of a better future for mankind. Believe me, my friends, it is animation that will save the world. And together with our cartoon heroes, we will show you how you can do it. We will study animation and create cartoons that will help make this world a better place to live. And we will start with the most important problem, on the solution of which depends the survival of our entire civilization. After that, we will talk about how Winnie the Pooh became a participant in the heroic battle to save the human race. And in the end, we will tell you how we make our cartoons and how you too can take part in their creation. So, my friends, let's hit the road. Our adventure begins.
My dear friends, we are happy to welcome you on our show, Entertaining Science. Today our meeting is devoted to zoology, and our speaker will be the famous herpetologist Mr. Hamster. Let me remind you that herpetology is the branch of zoology concerned with the study of amphibians and reptiles. And as a guest star, we invited the most famous enlightener of all times, Euclid of Alexandria, on whose textbooks whole generations of scientists had grown. And now Mr. Hamster will tell us his story. So, Mr. Hamster, is it true that you fled to the magic forest from communist North Korea?
Yes, as a young scientist, I was engaged in biological research for the communist regime of North Korea. Have you heard about famous boiled frog experiment? If you take an ordinary frog and put it in a vessel of hot water, then naturally it will not like it and will try to get out as soon as possible. If you place the frog in a vessel of cool water, it will feel quite comfortable and will not try to escape. But if now we start heating the water in a vessel and we do it very slowly, then the frog cannot feel such slow changes and will continue to enjoy life. Gradually the temperature of the water reaches dangerous values, but our frog does not notice this, because it has already got used to gradual changes. Suspect that something is wrong, the frog begins to late. By this time, it has already weakened from overheating, cannot get out of the jar, and eventually dies a terrible death. Yes, dies a terrible death.
My God, what awful experiments! But for what purpose North Korean regime does such research?
In fact, human behavior is much like the behavior of this frog. If you make changes slowly enough, you can accustom a person to any, even the most horrible things. Therefore, communist leaders, using ruthless experiments on frogs, try to work out methods of influencing human consciousness.
It is so horrible. I will allow myself to draw your attention to the deeper meaning of this experiment. In the upcoming conditions of global warming and the general deterioration of the ecological situation, all of humanity has turned into this very boiled frog. The planet is warming up more and more, and we continue to mindlessly spend invaluable resources on all kinds of completely secondary tasks, as if nothing terrible is happening. Can it not be that once we find ourselves on planet unfit for life, and we don't have time or energy left to correct the situation? Oh yes, I think this is a very appropriate observation. We have to stop doing all sorts of nonsense and throw all the forces to save our home planet. I want to thank our guest for such interesting discussion and say goodbye to all our viewers. Until the next meeting on our show. Bye bye.
I was asked to briefly introduce our project, New Amazing Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, because lately I am responsible for its development. The main goal of this project is to show how anyone can make cartoons. Our experienced cartoon instructors will show you how to create your own character and teach him to move. And you can even take part in the creation of a cartoon about the adventures of Winnie the Pooh and his friends. So let me give the floor to our first instructor.
In our previous lesson, I gave you a set of models and footages on the theme, the severe Russian Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, and offered to do a little cartoon about how Winnie the Pooh and Piglet decided to take a walk in the woods and what came of it. Well, it is better to see once than to hear 100 times. Now we will look at the cartoon which we eventually got, and then talk about how this cartoon was made. So, once upon a time, in a magic forest.
Если шум в затылке не беда, в голове моей опилки да.
Hello, Piglet. What are you doing? Tell me please, Winnie, what do you think? How far away is Africa? Oh, brother, Africa. Africa is cool. Of course it is awfully far away. This is Africa. It is on the other side of the world. Do you see that far, far away hill? So I think Africa is 2 more times farther. So you want to say that Africa is just over that hill? Well, something like that. But we have never been in Africa. You want to go to Africa? I think it would be great. Africa, it is such... There is so much of all. There is all around one real big Africa. Not bad idea at all. Let's go to Africa. Winnie the Pooh and Piglet go to Africa. Wow, that's cool. Fearless travelers go in search of new adventures. Before them lies the path full of dangers and amazing discoveries. Если долго-долго-долго, если долго по тропинке, если долго по дорожке, то подбегать или бежать, то, пожалуй, то, конечно, то, наверное, верно, то, возможно, можно в Африку прийти. Ага, в Африке реки вот такой ширины. Ага, в Африке горы вот такой вышины. Обезьяны, кашалоты, и зеленый попугай. И зеленый попугай.
Vinny, are you really going to Africa? That's great. And you bring us from Africa some souvenirs. All these badges, shells, magnets on the refrigerator. We all love you so much.
Yes, of course, I will bring a lot of wonderful souvenirs. Entire mountains of completely useless but highly amusing rubbish.
My God, how I love all these souvenirs. Oh, Vinny, you are my hero.
Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, fearless explorers of Black Continent. Endless expanses of Africa are waiting to be explored. Winnie the Pooh, Africa. It's just amazing. Some really live like in a fairy tale. Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, fearless conquerors of Africa. Glory to our favorite brave heroes. Dear friends, we decided to make our cartoon interactive, so you'll be able to influence the development of the plot. Click on this link to see to whom cunning bees deliver their secret reports. If the transition for some reason does not work, you can find a link to Spyware continuation of our cartoon in the description of this video. Or simply watch our film on if all the spy adventures are of no interest to you. Ага, в Африке реки вот такой ширины. Ага, в Африке горы вот такой вышины. Ага, крокодилы, бегемоты. Ага, обезьяны, кашалоты. Ага, и зеленый попугай. Ага, и зеленый попугай.
Ой, ай, ой. Oops. And where from we had fallen?
My dear friends, let me present to you, without a doubt, the easiest to learn and most effective method of creating animation, which will allow you to create animations of optimal quality quickly and without excessive effort. So what does our course consist of? In the first part, we will walk you through the basics of our animation technique, using a cool South Park musician as an example. But the most interesting will begin in the second part. We will tell you how to create models with automatic animation that can talk, walk, run, ride horses and much more. All this knowledge will be useful to you in the subsequent parts of our course, where you, under the guidance of our experienced instructors, will create cartoons on topics which you yourself can suggest. Sign up for our courses, visit our website generalanimation.com and our Facebook group for a wealth of additional material. Study animation with us and we will make cartoons together. You will find all the necessary links in the description of this video on YouTube.
And then, as I understand, you tell about how to make this cartoon character and teach him to play the guitar and other musical instruments in every detail. Wow, it is just wonderful. What's what I call a good occupation for cool guys. make animated films on most burning problems of our time. So let's not waste time on trifles and immediately create our own animation studio. We name it General Animation to show that we all together will make cartoons on the broadest topics. What could be cooler than the real animation studio? Here everyone will find a suitable activity. We'll need writers to write the scripts, need artists to create characters, actors to voice our cartoon characters, and of course we'll need animators to breathe life into these cartoon characters. So hurry, my dear friends. Anyone who wants to participate in this great project, come to website of our animation studio, generalanimation.com, where we all together will study the art of animation and create fascinating and informative cartoons to make the world the better place to live. Well, my friends, I think it is absolutely brilliant plan. We strongly support it and right now begin to animate. And we will start with a study of how are constructed and how operate the models of today's honored guests of our show, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet.